right, everybody, I think we may be live. Let me try to verify that on YouTube Studio. If you're in the live chat, please pop in there and tell me if you can hear me and see me. Yep, it looks like we are live, folks. I'm hoping that the live chat works. I'm saying hello. I haven't live stream in a little while, so I'm a little rusty, and keep in mind I'm not an AV technician, so give me a little slack if the live stream doesn't work perfectly. But it looks like I've got audio, and I can see myself in the live chat, and we have a visitor in the live chat. We have a couple people. So first of all, people say they hate the notifications. Sorry, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this as scheduled. I was planning to do it at 3, and I wasn't sure if my schedule would permit it, so I didn't want to notify everybody earlier and then have to cancel. And then we're going to get to Brian's comment. Here, let me see if I can pop this into the my system. I got a new computer and I'm not sure if everything's set up the way. There we go. Brian's comment, he says he was not tased for listening to music. He was tased for refusing to obey a lawful order and then resisting arrest. So that's the question. That's the big question that we're going to answer. So people say increase your volume. I can't increase my volume. My levels are peaking. Somebody says loud and clear, so I'm going to hope that it's okay. I don't want to clip my levels and increase my volume anymore. Yes, Michaela is correct. Don't talk to the police. You heard it here, folks. All right, I have not watched the video of the band director. Let me preface this by saying that I'm a band nerd. I was drum major for 2 years in high school. I was in band since I was in 5th grade. I'm in a concert band currently, the Fredericksburg Concert Band. Come see us on November 11th here at Fredericksburg at James Monroe High School. We play awesome music. We're going to play John Philip Sousa, some really great stuff. So anyway, I'm a band nerd, and I was drum major. I conducted the band at football games. And so I have an interesting perspective, hopefully, that might be interesting about this issue. And frankly, from the stories I've heard, I'm a little concerned that this could have been me. Somebody says the LED diodes are out. Are your bow tie? I don't know what that means. My bow tie not right? Anyway, I don't want to get offended about bow tie comments. Let's roll the video. I'm going to mute my mic, hopefully, so we don't have feedback. And I have not watched this, so you're going to see live reactions. We're going to see what happens. The clip is 7 minutes. I'll probably pause it a couple times, and we'll see what happens. Here we go, folks.
The Birmingham Police Department would like to share body-worn camera footage from the incident surrounding the Minor versus JO football game, played on Thursday, September 14th, 2023. During the incident, BPD officers took Minor High School's band director into custody. He was
comments that my volume is way low. Let me see if I can slide this slider up at all. Hold, please. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit. Is that a little better? Yep. I think that pumps up the volume a little bit, and people say it's good. So if you're saying it's way low, maybe you can crank your volume a little bit, because I'm almost at peaking on my levels. So let's continue. I'm going to mute again. People say it's fine. We're going to go on.
Charged with the following: disorderly conduct, physical harassment, and resisting arrest. Since the incident, Birmingham Police Chief Scott Thurman has met with Mayor Randall Woodfin, City of Birmingham leadership's team, and the superintendents of the Birmingham school system and the Jefferson County school system. At the direction of BPD Chief Scott Thurman, we are releasing this body-worn camera footage to the general public and to our media partners.
First thing I noticed, we're going to pause right here. If you look at this caption, it says the game ended 18 minutes prior to the beginning of this video. I've been to plenty of high school football games in my life, and high school football games don't clear out within 10 minutes or 18 minutes. I understand at some point you need to clear the stadium out and so people can go home and the lights off, but 18 minutes is not a long time at all. All right, let's continue. I'm trying to keep the echo down with the feedback from the mic, so it's not easy. Okay, so what we have here is obviously the band's still playing. It looks like an officer has come up and told one of the band directors they need to go. Okay, fair enough. It's time to go. The reasonable response or a reasonable statement from an officer. I don't see anything illegal here, and I certainly don't see why we need the tasing. Keep in mind, this is 7 minutes. We are now at about minute 3, so very soon this guy's going to get tackled and tased. I just don't get it. I don't understand how we're leading up to that. So let's continue.
Let's go. Hey, bro. Get out my face. Get out my face. Get out my face. That's okay. I got my troops coming. Hey, I got my troops coming. They're going to sweep their asses out. Okay?
Let me until my audio's clipping, so I turn my gain back down a little bit. Anyway, he says, I got my troops coming. They're going to sweep you blank out. What the heck? These are high school kids at a football game. One thing I did check into, from my understanding, is this is the winning team. These folks, I think, if I got the facts right, they're an away game. They are the away team playing, and if they won, I think it was a blowout, from my understanding. I think your tie is muting your mic. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Maybe my mic is not positioned well. Anyway, I think these are the guys that are, they're the away team, so they're somebody else's stadium, out of town or out of their neighborhood, and I think they won, from my understanding, a blowout game. As Eric Derry points out, let's go to the chat real quick. Eric Derry says he obviously couldn't understand what the cop was saying. And that's a good point. Could you hear what the cop was saying? Being in front of the band like that, it's very loud. They're obviously playing. They're happy. If I'm right and they're the winning team, they're excited. And they might not want it to end, especially if they win a lot. My high school football team did not win a lot when I was there. So anyway, that's what we have going on. Let's go back to the video. So, people are also asking about the 30-second delay that we saw. The video played louder than you speak. Yeah, that's because the video is coming through the desktop audio and it's not coming through the microphone that I'm using. Anyway, the 30-second delay is normal for Axon video or Axon body mics. You see the little icon in the upper right of the video. That's an Axon icon, the brand name of the body cameras. That's the normal way. I don't know if it's a setting that departments can control, but I watch a lot of body camera video, and that's normally what we see is we see the 30-second delay. We see that on there. I'm going to turn my gain back up. Sorry, guys. We see that 30-second delay normally. I think it's for privacy reasons because when you tap the... It says I'm clipping. Guys, I got no idea. We're doing our best here. When you tap the body camera to record, it actually shows the 30 seconds of video prior to that tap. So it's always recording, but it's always overriding itself, just like the dash camera does. And so it's going to record whatever happened video-wise for the previous 30 seconds. But I think for privacy reasons, it doesn't store the audio until you tap record, essentially. So basically, you tap record, and we're going to see video from 30 seconds before that, and you're not going to have audio. So I'm guessing the officer probably tapped record when he came up to the band director and engaged him in conversation. So that's when we sort of see the officer walking over with no audio, and the audio begins. This is the question of the day. A couple people have asked this. I just don't get how the police are involved. You have school security. The police may be school security. I don't know in Georgia. In Virginia, we have what we call school resource officers who are actually local police officers, a sheriff or police officer who are assigned to the school. And I remember in my high school football games, I was in Texas. Friday Night Lights is a real thing in Texas, and everybody's at the football game. The police department, the ambulances, the fire department, everybody's there on Friday night. And so prior probably there's lots of police there for security reasons and also in case somebody gets out of hand, as things do sometimes at high school football games. Let's back to the video and roll the tape as they sing. All right, so here's where I think things probably start to go south for the director. The police are clearly in his face. They're clearly telling him he needs to go. And remember, this is my first time watching it, but you can clearly see that he says, hey, give me another minute. They say your minute's up. They're not de-escalating, but he's also not de-escalating. He then cues up into the next song, basically, is what it looks like. That's not great. People say guys, I'm not going to worry about the audio. Okay, we're going to move on. It's clear that, to me in this situation, that both parties are escalating. Now, frankly, the police, they need to be trained in better de-escalation tactics, right? It's their job to take a tense situation and try to resolve it peacefully and amicably. And we don't have anybody doing anything wrong here. We have high school kids having a good time with their band director at a football game. What better place is there to be than playing in the band at a football game? That's good, clean fun, okay? There's nothing going on here that couldn't have been resolved peacefully, but it seems like both parties are sort of antagonizing each other at this point. Now it looks like they just turned out the lights. You can see there's actually people on the other side of the stadium. There's people on the field. There's clearly tons of people in the band. I don't know what else is going on, but they clearly turned out lights. How is that safe or good for anybody? I mean, yeah, good for security. Let's turn out the lights and make it dark. And now mayhem is ensuing. It's hard to tell what's going on from this one camera video. I'm curious what other camera angles they have. In theory, it sounds like there's several officers there. It sounds like there should be lots of body camera video going on, and we could see better. But it sounds like he ended the song. And keep in mind what time code we're at. We're at time code 4:35. So basically 4 minutes, really. First 30 seconds is really the officer walking across the field. And really the past 15 or 20 seconds is mayhem. So really, he's been essentially sort of disobeying the police for about 3.5 minutes by standing there playing a song after a high school football
Get in jail. Put it in jail. Put it in jail. I'm finna tell you. Get over here, bro. You have to say right. Tell him to stop. Tell him to stop. Tell him to stop. Calm down, bro. Open it, man. Hold on. We got it, open it, man. We got it. No, man. Just get off of me. Let's get open, man. He hit the officer, okay? He going to jail. He going to jail. He hit the officer. He got to go to jail. He swung on the officer. I did not swing on the officer, man. Y'all driving alone. I got the car. He going to jail because I asked him for respect. No, sir. That's disrespectful to me.
Okay, now what we have is the mayhem is a little more under control. It looks like he's sort of in handcuffs, and saying he disrespected the officer, and so he's going to jail. I'm not an Alabama, or this is Alabama or Georgia, I can't remember. I'm not a lawyer down there. I'm a Virginia lawyer, and I don't know the law down there, but disrespecting a law enforcement officer is not against the law. Now, you shouldn't do it. I don't encourage people to do tests for officers. I don't encourage people to give the officer evidence against yourself, but I do encourage you to be respectful to law enforcement officers, because as we're seeing what's happened to this gentleman, that's what happens, right? It's just crazy. Guys, this comment is just weird. I think your Adam's apple is making your collar tight and pressing on the mic. Good news for you. The mic is a shotgun mic up here. It's not down here. Okay, cool. Good to know. What's going on is the officer got pissed off that his authority wasn't respected. The band director got pissed off that his authority wasn't respected. Who's in the right? They're both wrong in a way. Right? The game is over. Yes, the band needs to clear out. The game is over. The band needs to clear out. I think it's reasonable for the officers to come along and say, "Hey, it's time to go home." But is it reasonable to escalate this situation in 3.5 minutes to trying to arrest this guy? Now, the problem the guy's going to have, the director, he's going to have, is it does appear that he's resisting arrest. So the big question probably is going to be, is this a lawful arrest to begin with? I don't see really what law he's violated in Virginia. I don't know Alabama law. I mean, there were some statutes he's violated, but it just does not seem that it rises to the level where we need to put this guy in jail. It seems like the officer, sergeant, it sounds like, were there, and they should have chilled out and said, "Hey, man, can you come talk to us?" They could have kept relations better between the band director and the police, and probably not escalated this thing all the way to an arrest and tasing. And I'm not going to watch the rest. This is crazy. This video is crazy. It should not have gotten to this point. And you know what happens at the end of this? What happens at the end of this is all those young people are going to hate cops and are going to think that cops are dirty scumbags and that you should never respect cops. Now, the band director, I lay a little bit of blame on that, but I don't think he's fully to blame, because the cops could have done a better job de-escalating the situation. That's part of their job, is to de-escalate. It's crazy to me. And when people say, there was a comment that's long gone on the live stream, so I can't pin it up here, but somebody said just because this guy's entitled that he did this, I don't think it's entitled to be a high school band director and play with your band. That sounds bad. Be a high school band director and playing songs with your band 20 minutes after the football game's over. Especially if you're the winning team. They're excited. They're having a great time. You can hear them shouting. They're excited and having fun. And now what's happened is they're all going to go home thinking you can never trust a cop. You can do what a cop says, because the cop's just out to unlawfully put you in handcuffs and tase you. It's crazy. It's a tradition at historically black college universities when the two bands play after the game is over. It's not illegal at all. And this was a tradition in Texas where we had, I think, one African-American guy in the whole band. Okay, we did this. This is what you do after football games. You play a couple songs, especially the winning team. You sometimes have a fade-off where you try to play louder or faster or stuff. This is what you do. This is part of the fun. Okay? And it's crazy that it had to come to this. at the end of the day, I think this band director is probably going to have himself a nice lawsuit on his hands. I don't know if he's going to win in court, but it's a case where I'll bet you he's going to get at least a decent settlement. But what does that really do? What does that help anybody? It really is just, I like it. Rotate the, all right. Is that better? Maybe if we all just respect each other a little more, maybe things would have been better. I lay blame at both people's feet, and I think it's just not a good situation all around. What is the purpose of an officer tasing someone? What is that? Oh, tases someone. I think that's a typo. What is the purpose of an officer tases someone? I mean, they're trying to get them subdued, right? The taser is supposed to be a less than lethal way to use force to get a person subdued and get them taken into custody. And like I said, I'm not going to continue to watch that video. It's just ridiculous. Here's a good question. Disturbing the peace only if there is a curfew and the school is in a residential area. And I don't think it's disturbing the peace after a high school football game to play music with the band for 20 minutes. That's what we have, 20 minutes. It's crazy. It's crazy. Can you make a video for SMI truck drivers on a traffic stop? I don't know what SMI stands for, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't see the tasing part. I don't think we got to that part. So certainly there are some issues with the tasing and whether that was a lawful use of force, right? So that's going to be the issue. And this is maybe an interesting perspective. They may have felt the band playing was provoking the other team in some way. So it actually would be an interesting question. When I first heard this story, I wondered if maybe there was some kind of like bomb threat. You know, maybe they had some kind of real security concern where they needed to clear the stadium. And I don't know, maybe there was some kind of fight breaking out elsewhere and they were trying to get people out so it didn't turn into some kind of mob or riot. You know, I don't know. We didn't hear that from the police press conference where they, basically explained what the charges were. You'd think if there was some true security concern, they would have led with that and said, do XYZ, we had to clear the stadium in a hurry. You clown of a lawyer, let me educate you. What about disorderly conduct, resisting arrest? I hope you don't have a law license. Well, Maurice, I do have a law license. I don't think I'm a clown. I do enjoy bow ties. But just because, yes, once somebody is being lawfully arrested, you have to submit to the arrest. And so maybe this director resists arrest. But if the arrest is unlawful in the first place, you can use force to resist an unlawful arrest, at least in Virginia. I don't know Alabama law. So people think that just because you're being arrested and you're resisting that you're guilty of something, not if you're unlawfully being arrested in the first place. And disorderly conduct is typically used for something like starting a fight, like actually like doing something really bad that's actually bad for society in a way is disorderly conduct. Just kind of ignoring a police officer's demand it's time to leave for a couple minutes. I'd have a hard time believing that that's really disorderly conduct. Let's see what else we got. This is a good statement. There should be a high school class for students to learn their rights and responsibilities to law enforcement. I agree with that to a point. The problem is, I don't trust public schools to teach much of anything these days. No offense to people that I know that work in public schools, but I'm not sure that would produce the results that a lot of us want on both sides of the aisle. Let's see, we have resisting any arrest can be used against you in court regardless if it's illegal or not. Yes and no. I mean, it depends on what you're charged with. Certainly your actions can almost always be used against you. And this is why it pays to be polite. Frankly, this would have been very differently if the officer, once they tried to take the band director into custody, if he would have allowed them to take him into custody. He would have looked a lot better. He would have looked really good, frankly, if he had just tried to play a little bit of music and they had taken him into custody and he turned around and put his hands behind his back and he let them take him into custody. He would come out looking like a pretty reasonable guy, just trying to lead his band in a song, and they're arresting him for what? But as it is, there's mayhem, and all these people are fighting each other, it looks like. Both sides look unreasonable. So this is why I think it doesn't make sense to resist arrest. It just doesn't make sense, because I don't think it looks good on the defendant. Let's see. I think that's about it for today. So I appreciate everybody's time, and I appreciate everybody stopping by. Be sure to subscribe. We're trying to get back on the bandwagon of publishing a new video every other Tuesday. We don't always make it, but we did get one yesterday, and you got a bonus today. So be sure to subscribe so you get notified. I hope everybody has a great day.